Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. Today we're going to be looking at adding fractions. Now, for the past month or so, we've looked at fractions. We looked at comparing fractions, we looked at fractions on a number line. Yesterday we looked at subtracting fractions, we looked at taking improper fractions to mixed numbers to improper fractions. Well, today we're going to be looking at adding fractions. Now, to set up a good basis for you whenever you go into fourth grade, for third grade, all we're going to look at is adding fractions with like denominators. Okay, it's just like we did yesterday, but this time we're adding them. All right, so for my first example, I have 3/10 plus 5/10. All right, let's look at these. I'm going to go ahead and draw them out. Make sure I have yellow. I'm going to draw a bar so that I can draw out 3/10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, so that tells me I have 10 equal slices. All right, and I'm going to color in, just so you can see it. Let's use a different color. Color in 3. All right, now it's asking me to add 5/10. Well, I'm already working in tenths, so all I need to do is add 5 more pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'd have 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10, 7/10, 8/10, right there. So I'm going to write in 8/10. I pretty much have drawn out what you're going to see right here with our manipulatives. So I started with 3/10. I'm going to take these off. Okay, so I'm starting with 3/10. 1, 2, 3. And I'm adding in 5 more tenths. So 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10, 7/10, 8/10. And guys, if you look at this, we've been adding fractions and we didn't even know it at the time. So we have 1/10 plus 1/10 plus 1/10 plus 1/10 plus 1/10, just like we'd have 1/10 plus 1/10 equals 2/10. So you've been adding these fractions and you didn't even know that you were adding fractions. So this should be a piece of cake. Another way that we know that this can be really, really easy is we just add in our numerators. Okay, so look, 3 plus 5 gets you 8. And then we keep our denominators the same. So 10, we keep that 10. If you want to get really technical with 8/10, we can go ahead and simplify 8/10. I'm going to kind of write that over here to the side. You have to think, what number is 8 and 10 both divisible by? Well, here's the thing. They are both even numbers. Any even number is divisible by 2. So let's start with that. So I'm going to do whatever I do at my top, I got to do at my bottom. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So I know 8/10 is the same thing as 4/5. All right, let's look at another example. All right, I have 3/5 plus 1/5. All right, I'm going to go ahead and draw a bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and I'm coloring in, I don't want to do black, let's do black. Coloring in 3/5. So there's my 3/5, that's what I'm starting with. And I add in 1 more 5th. Okay. So all together, if I were to count these up, I would have 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 3/5, 4/5. It's a mouthful right there. So I know that 3/5 plus 1/5 equals 4/5. Again, all I had to do was add in my numerators and keep my denominator the same. But we're still going to look at our manipulatives. Okay, so my blue one is divided into fifths. So I started with 3/5. 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5 equals 3/5. And we add in 1 more 5th. So 3/5 plus 1/5, and that would get you 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5. So we know that 3/5 plus 1/5 equals 4/5. All right, let's look at another example. I have 1/4 plus 3/4. That is my purple over here. But I'm going to go ahead and draw this on my board, but I'm going to use circle diagram because when it's into fourths or eighths, I just like to use the circle diagram better. Okay, so I've got my 1/4, and it tells me to add in 3/4. So I would just color in. I'm going to move this so you guys can see it. We'll just color in 3 more. And I'm looking at this, and I know that I have 1, 2, 3, 4 slices that are divided into 4 equal pieces. So that would get me 4/4. But we know that 4/4 is the same thing as 1 whole, because when the numerator and the denominator are the same, it equals 1 whole. Also, we know that 1 plus 3 gets us 4, and we know to keep our denominator the same. Let's look at that with manipulatives. We started with 1/4. We're adding in 3 1/4, so we're adding in 3/4. We know when we get to the top of our tower, that actually equals 1 whole, so I know that 4/4 is the same thing as 1 whole. Last example. I have 5/8 plus 2/8. All right, well, I said whenever we divide things into eighths, I always like to draw them out in the circle, the pie diagram. So they're my eighths. Okay, I'm going to color in 5/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so there's 5/8. If you look. All right, now it wants me to add in 2/8. So I'm going to go ahead and color in 2/8. 1, 2. Now it wants me to add them all up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I know that I have 7/8. I also know that if I just added in the numerators, 5 plus 2 gets me 7, and I just keep my denominator the same. We can also look at that with our manipulatives. So I started with 5/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I removed 3/8. Okay, let me slide this over so you can see it. There we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's my 5/8, and I'm adding in 2 more 8s. And I know that that gets me 7/8 because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, that's all that I have for you guys today. What I want you to do is make sure that you complete a Zern lesson today. You should be on lesson 10 by now. After you complete a Zern lesson, you're going to watch my video, which you should be watching right now. And then you are going to take the quiz. Hope you guys have a great Tuesday. We'll see you guys tomorrow. We're going to look at subtracting fractions tomorrow. And then we'll go back to adding fractions tomorrow on Thursday. Hope you guys have a great afternoon.